Zeta Phi Beta COS exam questions. When and where was the first bool held? December 26 to 28, 1920, jointly with Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated in Washington, D.C. What region is made up of only 2 states? Southern Louisiana and Texas. What region is Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio, and Wisconsin in? Great Lakes. What is the meaning of the word archon? Strength. When were the Palettes adopted by the national structure? 1994. Which community-based partnerships have Zeta Phi Beta established since its inception? Stork Nest Z-Hope Adopt-A-School Challenger Kids 5-Point Plan Human Genome Project. What region is Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, the Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, and the U.S. Virgin Islands in? Southeastern. What year did the NPHC Council of Presidents release a joint position statement on the definition of hazing? 1990. Which founder got a degree in education, worked as a teacher of mathematics at Bates High School in Annapolis, MD? Myrtle Tyler Faithfull. Who is responsible for membership into Zeta Phi Sorority Incorporated? International First Anti-Basileus. What year was ZNEF incorporated? 2006. The Pledge Club of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, pre-membership intake is known as ________________. The Arconian Club. When and where was Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated founded? Howard University on January 16, 1920. Who are the incorporators of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated? L. Goldia Smith, Gladys Warrington, Barbara Jackson and Alice Phillips. Myrtle L. Tyler, Gladys Warrington, Joanna R. Houston, Josephine F. Johnson and L. Goldia Smith. Gladys Warrington, Harriet Dorsey and Joanna R. Houston. Myrtle L. Tyler, Gladys Warrington, Joanna R. Houston, Josephine F. Johnson and L. Goldia Smith. Which past grand established the Zeta Stork's Nest? Past Grand Dr. Edith V. Francis. Past Grand Dr. Janice Gant Kissner. Past Grand Isabel M. Herson. Past Grand Mildred Carter Bradham. Past Grand Isabel M. Herson. Who did Arizona Cleaver Steemans share the idea of starting a sorority with? Pearl Ann O'Neill. Who was the first Basie Luz? Arizona Cleaver Steemans. When was Stork's Nest adopted as the national project of the sorority? The Stork's Nest National Project was adopted in 1977. The Stork's Nest National Project was adopted in 1972. The Stork's Nest National Project was adopted in 1952. The Stork's Nest National Project was adopted in 1972. What city and state was ZNEF incorporated in? Washington, D.C. What year was ZNEF established as a private trust? 1975. What region is District of Columbia, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, and Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates in? Eastern. Founder Fanny Petty Watts was born in _____________, but made her home up north in _____________ until her death in 1992. Perry, Georgia and Brooklyn, New York, Flushing, O. and Springfield, O. Charlotte, NC and Crockett, Texas. Townsend, MD and Baltimore, MD. Perry, Georgia and Brooklyn, New York. True or false? The melody of the official sorority song was adopted during past Grand Basie Lou's Dr. Nancy B. Woolridge McGee's administration. False, true? True. What year did we establish our executive office? 1950, 1948, 1939, 1951. 1948. Who was the first editor of the X-ray publication? Grace Bradley. What was the name of the sorority's first publication and in what year was it first published? The X-ray in 1921. Which founder got a degree in education, postgraduate studies of social work and housing, worked as a social investigator for the Department of Social Services in Brooklyn, New York? Fanny Petty Watts. Who is responsible for sending copies of the minutes of the Grand Boule to all chapters? International Phylacter, International Undergraduate Directors, International Grammateus Regional Directors. International Grammateus. Where was the first formal debut and who was it sponsored by? The White Law Hotel, by Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Brothers Charles Robert Samuel Taylor and A. Langston Taylor. Who were the other three potential members selected by Arizona and Pearl? Myrtle, Viola and Fanny. Name the 5 charter member organizations of the NPHC. Zeta Phi Beta Delta Sigma Theta Alpha Kappa Alpha Omega Psi Phi Kappa Alpha Psi. What region is Colorado, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Utah, and Wyoming in? Midwestern. We are the first black sorority to establish a national office. True. How did the sorority obtain Birch Haven and where is it located? Birch Haven was bequeathed to the sorority by 8th Grand Basie Lou's Violette N. Anderson, ESQ, and is located in Idlewild. Birch Haven was the home of the Tyler sisters who gave Zeta the deed, located in Southfield, Michigan. Birch Haven was purchased at an auction in Saginaw, Michigan. Birch Haven was bequeathed to the sorority by 8th Grand Basie Lou's Violette N. Anderson, ESQ, and is located in Idlewild. The Amici were organized in 1947 in Omaha, NE by the members of Beta Psi Zeta chapter. Who was the first Amici president and where was she from? Belma Mahan Hawkins of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Adelaide Ford of Houston, Texas. Lucille Avant of Omaha, NE. Adelaide Ford of Houston, Texas. Who did Sigma brother, Honorable Charles Robert Samuel Taylor approach to start the sister organization in the spring of 1919? Arizona Cleaver Steemans. This past grand is credited with establishing the sorority's leadership program. Who was she, and what was the name of the program? Past Grand Barbara C. Moore, Zeta Organizational Leadership, ZOL. What region is Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee in? South Central. Past Grand Isabel M. Herson established the Zeta Stork's Nest. True. In what region is the Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated International Headquarters located? Eastern Washington, D.C. What region is Alaska, Arizona, California, Hawaii, Idaho, Nevada, New Mexico, Oregon, Washington, and Asia Pacific in? Pacific. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is the first and only _________ sorority to be constitutionally bound to a fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. NPHC. The underscore 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 oversee the upkeep of sorority property. Trustee Advisory Council, the International Executive Board, resident agents. Trustee Advisory Council. What year was the fraternity system established on the campus of William and Mary College? 1776. When did the term change to International Grand Basilus and why? 1948, when a chapter was chartered in Monrovia, Liberia. Besides Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, who were the other two sorority charter members of the NPHC? Delta Sigma Theta Alpha Kappa Alpha. The Arconian Club applied to both graduate and undergraduate chapters. False. Graduate chapters are distinguished by the use of what Greek letter at the end of the chapter's name? Zeta. Sorors who pass away are prefixed with what term? Triumphant beloved honorary. Triumphant. Which is not a stated purpose of the NPHC, to serve as a standard-setting and implementing body for the affiliated organizations in their areas of rushing, pledging, and initiation, to serve as a forum for the consideration of mutual interests to the member organizations, to serve as mediator in campus disputes among the student population, to maintain fraternity, sorority, and inter-Greek relationships. To serve as mediator in campus disputes among the student population. What chapter do honorary members belong? Alpha Omega Chapter. When was the National Panhellenic Council organized at Howard University in Washington, D.C.? May 1930. How many regions are in Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Inc.? 8. Which soror wrote the lyrics to our national hymn? Harriet Dorsey, Fanny Petty, What's Anita Turpo, Nellie Singfield. Anita Turpo. Who are the 5 founders of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Incorporated? Arizona Cleaver Stemmons, Pearl Anna Neal, Myrtle Tyler, Faithful, Viola Tyler, Goings, Fanny Petty, Watts. ZNF was established as the sorority's nonprofit and charitable organization to help the sorority further what principle? Scholarship. What year was the Archon first published? 1939, 1930, 1929, 1920. 1929. During past Grand Dr. Nancy Bullock McGee's administration, Zeta Phi Beta became the first sorority to establish a chapter in underscore 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 Africa. Which sister is known for the famous quote below? There is a Zeta in a girl regardless of race, creed, or color, who has high standards and principles, a good scholarly average, and an active interest in all things that she undertakes to accomplish. Founder Viola Tyler. What region is Connecticut, Delaware, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, Africa, Belgium, Germany, and Greater London, England in? Atlantic. What are the 5 founders called? The 5 Pearls. The first youth auxiliary groups were formed in what year? 1950s. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated was the first to establish national auxiliaries. True. It was the idea of the founders that the sorority would reach college women in all parts of the country, who were sorority-minded and desired to follow the guiding principles of the organization. What are the sorority's principles? service, scholarship, sisterhood and finer womanhood. How many times per year does the NPHC meet to discuss and implement policies to the affiliate organizations? Twice a year, once every 2 years, once a year every quarter. Once every 2 years. How many sorors have served in the position of Grand Basileus, later International Grand Basileus? 26. How many Basilii positions are on the International Board of Directors? 3. Honorary membership was created under which administration? Gilla Moore Tiert, Ph.D. Violet N. Anderson, ESQ Dr. Edith V. Francis Cheryl P. Underwood. Violet N. Anderson, ESQ. Which founder got a degree in music and master's in music from Columbia University, further study at Juilliard School of Music in New York, worked as a teacher in Crockett, Texas? Pearl Ann O'Neill. Which founder got a degree in education, worked as a teacher in Smithfield, North Carolina and an assistant principal at Cambridge High School in Cambridge, MD? Viola Tyler Goings. What two organizations were established for training and drill in composition and oratory? The Adelphia Organization and the Ciceronian Society. On what campus was the first sorority for social and literary purposes founded? Wesleyan University. Which founder got a degree in social work, worked as a teacher at Hannibal High School from which she graduated? Arizona Cleaver Steemans. What is the required attire for the rededication ceremony? Uninterrupted black dress, uninterrupted white dress, royal blue and white. Uninterrupted white dress. When and where was the second bull held? 1921, Baltimore, MD. During the last week in February and the entire month of March, the Zeta women celebrate what national observance? Finer Womanhood Month. Honorary membership was created under which administration? Violet N. Anderson, ESQ. What was the second national fraternity? Kappa Alpha. In what year did Zeta establish our executive office? 1948. When was the current national headquarters purchased and under which past International Grand Basileus? Where is it located? National headquarters was purchased in 1959 under the administration of Dr. Deborah Cannon Partridge Wolfe, and it is located at 1734 New Hampshire Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20009. National headquarters was willed to Zeta Phi Beta sorority by soror Violet Anderson in 1949, and it is located in Idlewild, Michigan. National headquarters was per. National headquarters was purchased in 1959 under the administration of Dr. Deborah Cannon Partridge Wolfe, and it is located at 1734 New Hampshire Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. 20009. At what Sigma conclave was approval given to assist in the organization of a sister sorority? December 1919 in Washington, D.C. The pledge clubs were discontinued in what year? 1990. When did the title change to Grand Basileus? 1926. Who is the highest ranking officer on the International Board of Directors? International Grand Basileus. Who were the first Zeta Phi Beta sorority initiates? Gladys Warrington, Harriet Dorsey, Pauline Phillips and Nellie Singfield.